Hi guys, today I wanted to just do a quick video talking about perspiration or sweating. That's something that people have a common problem with. A lot of people have something called hyperhidrosis where you're sweating too much. Some people may not sweat enough. There's lots of different pathologies that can happen, and sweating is a big clue for those. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about that. I'm going through the book, The Web That Has No Weaver, and we've done a couple other videos from different topics in this book. So I thought this would be a good one just to talk about, just describe some of the symptoms that people have and what its significance is in Chinese medicine. So, as far as perspiration goes, sweating happens when your skin pores are open. And the body usually controls that naturally by opening the pores more when there's more heat in your body, when you're feeling hot, and it allows the body to cool down, to allow sweat to exit the body, to allow some of that heat to exit the body through the pores. Now, that can happen normally. So if you're outside on a hot day, having sweat is a good and normal thing. But it can be problematic for two reasons. Number one, if you're actually sweating too much, or if you don't sweat enough. And in Chinese medicine, there's a few theories of why this can happen. Now, first of all, sweat is really important in Chinese medicine. If you look at the Shanghan Moon, which is one of the major classical texts, sweating is a key differentiation to tell what type of formula that you need. If you have sweating, that type of disease goes under a specific classification of what we call cinnamon twig formulas or guizhi tang type formulas. If you don't have sweating, that is a whole separate classification of diseases. And those types of formulas are ma huang tang formulas. And that's important because it's telling you at what layer the pathogen is and what you need to do to correct that. If you do the wrong treatment, the patient can get worse. So, for example, in a flu, let's say a patient has flu type symptoms, and you ask them if they are sweating, and you're trying to figure out what type of formula they need. The significance of the sweating is if the body is already trying to release the pathogen. In Chinese medicine, when the body is sweating, it is trying to release the pathogen. And so if you use a formula like Guizhi Tong, it's helping the body um, to to promote that sweating and to what we call harmonize the external and internal layers of the body's defense mechanism and to help resolve the fever and resolve the illness. Now, if you're not sweating and you are supposed to be sweating, the other type of formulas helps to open the pores and to promote your body to sweat and get rid of the pathogen that way. Now, the way sweating works is that it's controlled by the wei qi or the protective qi of the body. And so that qi is what's responsible in opening and closing the pores. Now, if your body is weak in the protective qi or the wei qi, or there is a disharmony between the wei qi and one of the inner layers of the body called the yin level qi, if there's a disharmony between those two levels, you can have inappropriate sweating. So people who have hyperhidrosis, that could happen for a number of reasons. But one of the common reasons is that the wei qi, the exterior qi, is not controlling the pores properly. It can also happen from deficiencies of yang, where the yang energy, which is supposed to circulate and push the qi outward and support the exterior of the body, is too weak and insufficient to control the pores. And so therefore, a person over sweats because their body can't regulate and control the pores properly. So this is a problem of either a wei qi deficiency or a yin and wei disharmony or yang deficiencies. It could be numerous other things, but when we talk about final common pathways. So that's important. Night sweating is another big indicator. Typically, night sweating is thought of as yin deficiency. Usually at night, it's the yin energy of the body that rises. And when you're sweating at night, it can indicate a deficiency of the yin energy. If you're not sweating enough, that is another indicator. Most average people walking down the street don't notice this as a problem, but not having enough sweat could indicate deficiencies of the fluids in your body. It could also indicate that the pores are not able to open. So that could be another problem. And those could have other consequences, like heat being trapped within the body. So all kinds of different things can happen as a consequence of sweating or not sweating. And those could be a result of other problems in the body. So it takes a bit of delineation to try and figure out what all is happening in terms of sweating. So one thing that is important as patients is to understand your body's sweating. If you perceive it or others around you perceive it, family members might perceive it as overly, you sweat overly, or you're not sweating enough. Those are things to note and be mindful of because that provides useful information. So a good quick summary on just sweating, perspiration, the significance between the wei qi, the yin qi, the yang of the body, and the controlling of the pores. All right, we'll see you next time.